1 step forward, 2 steps back. So we're approaching the main gate now.
Video 4.
It's a gold coin entry fee. I should have pointed that out actually, so everyone get their money ready. Okay, that's the tour guide for the witty banter that you're getting at the moment. No.
57. Thank you very much. I'll ask you on the way out how many we've got. So
Hopefully the same number.
Hopefully. Right.
45.
So this is the main entranceway. Looking a lot greener than they did initially. It was just a bunch of mud to start with, because, but obviously what we've done is we've reseeded it. So obviously the construction process is a bit messy, but as we get to a point where we're starting to do the tidy up, we reseed everywhere, so you can see all the new grass coming through. So where we had that dry spell through September, that's where you take the old turbines down and you put the newest, sort of latest model in. So the turbines you see today are probably, almost the pinnacle of the technological design of a turbine. There are bigger machines, so like I say, these are 2.5 megawatt machines. There are 6, 10 megawatt turbines, but typically what you're looking at there is they're going in offshore. So they're going in the sea, particularly in Europe and America, mainly because you're looking at pushing the tip heights up to about 250 meters, blades, 80, 90 meters long, so quite significant. So you can see the power line to our right now. Now that's the line that is actually dropping down from the substation, which is further in the project. So we have a substation right in the middle, up near the hill as you see it, the White Rock Hill. And that collects all the power for the project, and then it brings it down on this 132 kV power line. So to your left is the entrance to the solar farm, a very exciting gravel track for you to look at there. And on our right is or was our construction compound, which is now being turned into our operations facility. So at one point during construction, we had about between 250 and 300 people working on the site at any one time. So this car park was full to the compound to head through. So those buildings, those little sort of demountables you see on the right, they were the offices that people worked out of. Shipping containers are being used to obviously house all the materials that we're now taking off site, and then this green sort of building that we're approaching is going to be the permanent compound sort of facility. Not too impressed with their fencing. I think they need to straighten those up a bit. Yeah, I'm sure we'll work with the contractor about that. And so yeah, so main building, storage sheds, and there'll be a fenced off area for materials and the important project. Yep, okay, another nice view of the solar farm on the left. The solar farm, it won't be made bigger at this point in time. It's 20 megawatts, and that's kind of what we're sticking with. I mean, there's always the possibility down the line that we could improve the size of the project, particularly if we do the stage 2 of White Rock Wind Farm, which will actually be, if stage 2 goes ahead, it'll be built to the south of the project. So we're at the northern end. The remaining turbines are to the south and to the southeast. Southwest of where we're sort of driving at the moment. And in order to do that, we have to connect into the big sort of power line, which is sort of about another 10 k's out to the right of us here. But that will then give us more opportunity to expand the solar farm. But that'll take a few years before we do it. So, first turbine is coming up. Like I said, I have to apologise for the wind. I'll have a word with Mother Nature when we've finished, just to say she can pick up the game for later on in the day. The noise that they generate is not mechanical, it's aerodynamic. So as everyone talks about the noise of wind turbines, so what it is as the blade passes the tower, you get like a whooshing noise. Of course, you've got multiple turbines generating multiple whooshes. But when we go through the planning process, of course, what we're doing is we're assessing that kind of noise impact. to basically make sure that our neighbours, who we're very conscious of, there are people who live quite close. We have neighbours who are involved in the project. Obviously, it's their land on which we're building the project, and we lease the land from them. But there are obviously neighbours who are not involved in the project who still live in the area, and we are obviously conscious that the project is a visual influence to them as much as the noise from the turbines. So planning ensures that when we site these things, that they're a suitable distance away from residences that that are not involved in the project. And we have to do a lot of compliance testing. We have to make sure that is obeyed. That once the project is fully operational, which it practically is now, there are the few turbines still going through commissioning. So like everything is tested to make sure that they're working correctly, and that's why the turbine 2 is being fiddled with, I guess, because there's some sort of tweaks that need to be done to it to make sure that it's fine. Those who don't know, those black things on the right are cows. They're rhinos, yes. We've filed the horns off just to describe them. But as you can see, I mean, farming practices, apart from the loss of land, I mean, which is quite small compared to the size of the project, farming just carries on as normal. Cattle, sheep, horses just wander around. Yeah, and the sheep actually use as you can see, the shadow as we kind of approach this turbine number 2. You'll see the shadow cast, and obviously what we'll find is on particularly hot days that sheep and cows will line up along the shadow. Well, there's one sitting over there. It's a perfect demonstration. Thank you, cow. They kind of use it, and we've got no problems. They're pretty robust pieces of equipment. The turbines, not the cows, but so turbines go through, I think it's about 250 hours of commissioning. They have to demonstrate that they're working fine before they're signed off. And all these turbines that we can see at the moment have passed that process. The ones more to the south, the ones that were installed later, are still having to go through that. So approaching turbine number 3 now. Funnily enough, it looks exactly like turbine number 1 and 2 and 4 and onwards. But here you have an opportunity to get out, get up close and personal. Unfortunately, you're not allowed in the turbine because of safety reasons. We don't want you falling down. There is a bit of first of all, there's a bit of a climb, and second, there's a bit of a pit when you get inside. I know you adventurous types want to climb them. Believe me, climbing a ladder 90 metres up, bit of a challenge.
So can you get where the
very, very curious blade profiles. Fascinating. Okay, I may be wrong about this, but my understanding is that they are giant neodymium permanent magnets on the rotor. The coils are all in the turbine head. It produces direct current electricity, runs that down the steel tower, and down here at ground level they have great big solid state inverters on 2 sides of the tower to take advantage of the prevailing wind for cooling. And as you can hear, this dirty great big transformer is wired up and functional. $2,500 kilowatts at per each. Okay, operates wind speed of 3 metres per second, or 11 kilometres per hour, and 22 metres per second, 79 kilometres per hour. Sweep area 11,505 square metres, 44 tennis courts. Hub height 89.5 metres. turbine models are Gold Wind 121 2.5 megawatts, 70 turbines in stage 1, turbine foundation 960 tonnes of concrete, 48 tonnes of steel, 900 tonnes of concrete, 7 tonnes of bolts, 3 tonnes of embedment plate, approximately 365 cubic metres of concrete in each turbine base. We have a schematic. 175 megawatts all up. And for all you chemtrail conspiracy theorists, look at that, they're chemtrailing over the top of the wind turbine farm. Ooh, shock horror. Really impressed by the multiple curvature they've built into those blades. All angled forward. So they must have some pretty powerful azimuth control gears, all being controlled by a little anemometer and wind vanes up on top of the turbine housing, the nacelle as I think they call it. Now old mate said it's taken them about 10 years to get to this stage. Being honest with you, in 1986 they erected the first wind speed measurement tower about 15 miles that away over at Ben Lomond Maybole area, and they took data for 10 or 15 years before they lodged their first development application. First they had to figure out whether there was enough wind to be worth doing this. So, Warbles on a lot to YouTube. I've been promising you a visit to the local wind farm, but it's been difficult to organise as a member of the public. And now, today, I managed to get a #1 seat on the #1 bus. Therefore, Warbles on a lot channel will probably scoop the pool when it comes to wind turbines at Glen Innes going global. I think that's probably about it. Warbles on a lot to YouTube. Ain't it a big one? Ciao. Welcome to Selfie City.